Hello, my name is Hersh and welcome to the HERshyt Show. Well, a little bit about it. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you'll probably cuss at me, but that's alright. I just want to bring to you the realization of what's really going on in this world that a lot of people are afraid to speak on. Enjoy. Okay, so this week on the HERshyt Show, we're going to talk about the subject that some people might agree with or actually tune into. I don't know. Either way, it is what it is. But what are we talking about?
Adultery.
I thought we were talking about something different.
Is that what we're doing right now?
No.
Which one are we doing?
Step parenting.
Oh, we're doing, okay, I thought we were doing adultery.
Oh, well, I mean, it does kind of go.
Well, I mean, well, both, whatever. We'll work it in there. Our ADD brains will work it in there somewhere.
Oh my God.
Okay, step parenting. Yeah.
Step parenting. Step parenting. What is a step parent?
I mean, personally, I don't have kids, but I have that mother instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, of course, it's there, but I can give my personal opinion on it, but it don't, you know.
What is your perception on it?
Well, I mean, if I am with a significant other and they have a child, and if they're in my household and I'm paying, and I'm
like you're the head of the household.
Yeah, and if I'm paying, to me, it's not even a head; it's more of an equal thing. You know, both of them. But if you're paying their stuff, paying their way,
you're doing everything for this child.
Like you're a parent, like a legit parent.
Okay.
And they need discipline. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like the biggest argument.
I don't mean like beating them, but I mean discipline. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't say. I mean, that's how I view it.
Yeah. And I totally understand that because
it's a discipline out of respect. It's not like it's not being hatred or mean. It's more like, no, you're not going to do that in here. Yeah. So
there's a difference between punishment. You know, you did something wrong. I'm punishing you. You know, versus. But what if that parent steps in and says, "You cannot discipline my child. You come and tell me about it, and then I will handle it." What do you feel?
Okay, I'll give it a couple chances and see what they did about it.
Yeah.
And if that didn't work out, we're gonna have to redo our little talk. You know, whatever. No.
We need to have a coming to Jesus moment.
Yeah, we're gonna have a meet our creator moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking from a parent's perspective,
yes,
I feel that like my son's godfather, of course, he's not his biological father, but that's who my son has known his entire life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, so the thing to me is, and he has 5 boys. So when we were actually in the same household, under the same roof, I raised those boys when they was with it, like they were my own. Mm-hmm. However, I never put my hands on those boys. I never had to. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when it came down to the disciplinarian action, if it stemmed to something that I felt their dad needed to know, then I would tell their dad.
But he would do something about it.
He would be the disciplinarian.
But he took action though. What if this other person just, and just lets them keep doing it over and over? I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Now, I did have a situation to where, now the boys respected me. Like they were legit.
That's a blessing in itself though. You have these little shit that don't.
But I'd been around them since they were damn near born. You know what I mean? So it was like, then 2 of them I actually had been around since they were born. The oldest 2 I knew of, you know, I met them when they were 1 and 2 years old. Mm-hmm. But the other ones I was legit around when they were, you know, born or whatever. I wasn't there every single day, but they knew of, who I was.
You had their respect.
Yes, they were my boys. Like, you couldn't tell me shit. They was my boys.
I know how you are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now their mamas, on the other hand, might not have cared for it, but I never treated them any different. I didn't, even though...
As it should be.
I just didn't.
You didn't let your ego get in the way.
No, I did not. I did not. Now, one of the mothers, I wholeheartedly respect her. You know, and it took us a minute to get there, and I understood where she was coming from.
Yes.
But at the same time...
do that.
A lot of people cannot do
put
that.
yourself in that person's shoes and think how they are. Think how you would think.
Now, the second baby mama, shit. Woo! Respect to her. Blessed be. Because
bless you.
She was a special character. But that's something that he laid with. He had children by, and I had to respect it.
Bless you.
Bless it. But at the same sense, like the last one, the latest one, that one, what it is what it is. But all of our boys grew up around each other. But I found that when he was in another relationship with another female, that female had a problem with my son coming around. Because it's like, y'all aren't together no more. Why is he, why are you? I wasn't even going in the house. Like, I respected the household. I'm not coming in the house. I'm not trying to.
You're very respectful. I mean,
I try.
No, you do. I mean,
I try. Sometimes I'm petty as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. I can be very petty. I can. I can. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not perfect. And some shit, keep trying me. I can show you better than I can tell you. And I can be extra petty. I'm not even gonna lie on that one. I'm not. Anybody that knows me will be like, see, at least she told the truth. Mm-hmm. I'm telling the truth. I can be petty. But that's,
we all can.
But she had a situation where she tried to discipline my son.
Okay.
The new girlfriend that's been around for like 2.3 seconds.
Right? Okay. Yeah. No.
This ain't no step parent situation. Okay. This is the 2.3 seconds of a girlfriend trying to discipline my child. That didn't turn out too well.
No.
You're not, because this is how I feel. You've been around for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say I don't. Mm-mm.
My thing is, you don't know these children like that. And none of them, like if you discipline any one of them, the ones I gave birth to or not, that's where we're going to have a problem at. Mm-hmm. And I know that the dad is going to have a problem too when he finds out. But I didn't find out until after the fact when I came and picked up my son. And then he was just like, oh yeah, mommy, try to hit me with the belt. And I was like, wait, what? You turn. Let's turn around and go talk about this. Because what you're not going to do is put your hands on my child. I don't put my hands on yours.
No, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Don't put your hands on mine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if you are that actual step parent, you and this person got married or whatnot. My stepfather was an evil motherfucker. That's the one that abused us and did things to us. You know what I mean? I wish my mother would have been able to stop him. Just coming from a stepkid side point of view. Mm-hmm. If you create a situation to where that male or that step parent is the consistent disciplinarian, then there's going to be an issue with the child. The child, like, will see anytime you walk in the room, they're tying you to discipline. So now I'm going to hide it from you. Because every time I see you, the only thing you want to do is whoop me. The only thing you want to do is put me in a corner. The only thing you want to do is some type of punishment. I don't want to deal with you anymore. That's a psychological thing. Mm-hmm. And if you actually look it up, should step parents discipline children like those? There's actual researches on those, that very topic. And it's a controversial thing. You can't ask me to discipline your children 1 second because you can't discipline your child. And then turn around when I do decide to discipline them on my own without you telling me to. Now you want to fuss at me. Like, where's the fine line?
I know. But like you said, the dad will take care of it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm all for that. As long as somebody's taking care of the issue.
Yeah.
That saved me.
But some people go above and beyond. Some people literally go above and beyond.
Hey, come to me. If you got, okay, we'll see how you solve it. And if you're doing your job, your parenting duties, great. Saved me a headache.
Yeah.
So,
but some step parents go above and beyond and will lie on a child.
See, I don't know.
There's so many different situations. It's ridiculous.
When it comes to kids, remove your ego.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I've even seen where one person told her baby daddy, well, I'm married now. You got to speak to my husband. And they had him being the new husband being the disciplinarian over the kids. And this man came in with no kids. He didn't know how to be a father.
See, that's tough.
You see what I'm saying?
That's tough.
Don't get married just to have that step parent there to be the disciplinarian. You know what I mean? Like, don't get married just to settle and have somebody in the household. Because you never know, you might end up with some crazy jokers in your house, or some that are hands off. My adopted father, but he's very, very hands off.
Oh yeah, there's ways to discipline without even touching them.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't even a conversation. It was just like, oh, all right, you did what? Okay, cool. And he would walk clean off, and you'd be like, well, I guess that was the end of that conversation. Yeah, he wouldn't. He was non-confrontational all the way through. But as a step parent, I do feel if you are raising this child and you've been around for a hot little minute, I don't believe in putting my hands on other people's kids unless I have to. Like, there's no other choice at this point.
And sometimes that's the only way a child's going to learn.
But I'm not going to put a switch to your child. I'm not going to put a belt to your child. I might give them a pop knot with a fly swat on the bottom of their foot or something like that. As a,
Go pick out a hickory switch.
Yeah, no, we ain't doing them these days. I ain't going to jail.
Whoo, them old hickory switches.
But I do feel that before you get involved with somebody, y'all need to have that talk.
Yeah, especially kids are involved. You know, you need to come to a mutual understanding somewhere.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying about not, and I get that. I mean, that's cool.
I'm not
putting it was like that with us. Like, she was like, but Mom, this woman did so and so, you know, and it was something that it was not normal, you know, and she's like, do what now? I mean, and she taught me I was raised up, do not lie about, and if I said something happened, it happened. You know, she knew that. I mean, and we got people fired over that, you know, and I mean, people doing the wrong thing. And I was like, Mama, so and so did this. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Mom's like, what?
Yeah.
You did what to my daughter?
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this. But as a step parent, I honestly feel, for one, if you got every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming around your children, because for one, first and foremost, I don't believe in everybody meeting your children.
I agree.
I don't believe in everybody even knowing where you live. I don't believe in that unless you are, and I've actually respected some dudes that say the same thing. You know, I got my kids this weekend. You know, don't nobody come around my kids. Hey, cool, because I'm the same way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But
we're both pretty private when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's just
kids get attached,
and kids observe everything and listen to everything, even if you don't realize they're listening. They are listening. Mm-hmm. And another thing, staying with somebody just because financial, staying with somebody just because kids know.
Yeah.
They're more sensitive. They're not, society hasn't completely brainwashed them yet.
Yeah.
So they're more open to energies, more open to things. That's why kids see things and you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because they're more open at that time until they get shut down by society. And the kids know, they can sense your energies. Mm-hmm. They know when you're fighting, if you try to pretend like you're not. They know you hate each other. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that's something to keep in mind, because I've seen that time and I'm like, you do realize this child knows that y'all don't even like each other.
We're going to stay together for the children's sake.
And I'm like, I mean, okay, but your child knows. That kid knows. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They can sense energies in my way.
Yeah. But
it's that friction. You know, and that wears at a child, whether you realize or not, it gets lodged in your subconscious.
But you see it all the time, the news stories where toddlers are being molested or raped or killed by mommy's boyfriend of 2 months. Yes. You know, and I'm just gonna let him babysit my child while I go to work. We was together. Why he couldn't and the baby ended up dead. Like, come on, man. Mm-hmm. I'm all for, if y'all get together and y'all come to this mutual agreement that, you know, we're going to have an open communication.
As it should be.
If you tell me that, if he's fully involved, like this is a year or so, you know what I'm saying? Like,
not
this
no
is
month or 2 months, no.
2.3 second type situation, you know, and y'all come to an agreement, even when me and my ex split up, and this was in 2008. He still stuck around. He still talks to Trevor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for the kids' sake. I mean, just
exactly.
I respect that. That's
exactly. Not. And they're all grown now.
That's removing your ego.
Yes.
From the situation.
The children were always priority. That was the biggest thing. If I had to buy it, if he bought it, it didn't matter. Even when we weren't together, and we lived in separate households or even in different freaking countries because we were both military, we made sure that the kids had what they need, but they had a mother. So my thing is, I'm going to get them what they need, but they got mama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still treat them as my own. I never put a hand on them. I may have raised my voice a couple times because I'm loud anyway. You know, something like that.
That's
but,
probably all it took for you there.
Yeah.
You're probably like,
yeah. And then as soon as I say I'm going to tell you daddy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have to worry about it. You know, I'm going to tell you granddaddy. I'm going to tell you mama. Because they mamas is some disciplinarians as well.
I don't think it's great. I mean, I'm all for somebody else doing it as long as you're going to stick to your word and actually go through with it.
Yeah.
You know, don't just, okay, I'll take care of it and turn around the kids do the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
No, we're going to have another conversation.
Yeah. But I do believe that there should be that possibility as a step parent. If I am raising you, I'm going to treat you like my own. If now in my scenarios, I never got in that situation to where I had to. But if it came down to a point of needing to, like with my godson or my nieces and nephews, then then I'm going to. You know, I'm going to discipline them if their mother cannot handle that situation or if their father is not around, you know, type situation. Somebody has to be the disciplinarian. If you let your child just do whatever they want to do.
Sometimes they're going to push to the limit to see what they can get away with.
They're going to test that water.
Okay. Well, she didn't do nothing then. Let me try. Okay.
A little bit further.
Let me go. A little bit. Oh, she didn't do nothing again. Okay. And it just snowballs. You know, so.
And what they say, it's easier to fix a broken child than a broken man.
Yes. Everybody, your inner child, everybody has an inner child. And most of us experienced trauma at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
And that sticks with you. A lot of our ailments and traumas come from our childhood. And whether you realize it or not, you might, why am I like this? Why do I got such a high anxiety? It's because it's something you hadn't healed from your childhood. And you might think you totally healed from it. Keep going back. That's what I'm talking about, doing inner work. And
when we're talking about disciplining children, we're not talking about just beating them.
Oh, absolutely.
We ain't talking about just snatching them up.
For me, I might say something about it first.
Yeah.
I'm all about talking.
Yeah, let's talk this out.
Let's do open communication, because sometimes I can get on kids' level.
Yeah.
I can talk to a child and I can totally get on their level. And they're like, okay. And they feel comfortable and they'll talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you know, like, and I try to be cool with it. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, I get it. But if you just come at them screaming and yelling, no, all that's doing is creating resentment. And trauma. It really is. No, I don't. I hate violence. But I mean, you need to whoop a butt. Spank the butt, you know, if it comes down to it. But I mean, I don't recommend it. But.
And you are not a step parent if you just started dating the mama and moved in with them.
No.
That's not a step parent. You just, I mean, to me, you're a fuckboy. But that's here nor there. But there are situations where women do need somewhere to stay and they end up moving in with their boyfriend.
That happens a lot, yes.
Which is fine. But guess what? That doesn't make you that baby's daddy. So there has to be that communication. The biggest thing is communication. Don't assume that you do have the rights or do not have the rights to be able to discipline in your own household without that communication. Don't assume. Assumptions make you an ass.
I mean, if you just have no experience in the matter, come in. I could, if I had a child, woo.
Yeah.
You know,
and sometimes the parent,
somebody beat my dog, like.
But sometimes the parent goes too far, and the significant other is like, "Hey, man, you might want to dial that back a little bit." You know, and I've even went too far. I ain't perfect. I done snapped off before. I'm like, "What the fuck?" You know, and turn into little she man. But you know, and I've had my roommates be like, "Hey, man, you know, that's you need to dial that back a little bit." You know, I was like, you know what, you're right. But I had to sit with myself on that as a parent.
You were open enough to consider it.
But nobody in my household was going to talk to my child but me. Because he's at a teenage level now. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing was, if I don't build this foundation between me and him, and I allow these other men in the household step in, yes, you can look at them for guidance. Yes, you can look at them as a mentor or whatever. But when it came down to discussions and the foundational agreement, that was mine. That was my moment. Because for one, I'm not fucking nobody in the household. We not together. This ain't, one of those. But you're more than welcome to talk to him if he comes to you in an open communication. Then you can spit whatever seed you want to spit in him. But this is my expectations. So nobody in the household was able to discipline him but me. But at this time, he was damn near grown. So it wasn't, you can take it how you want, take it how you live. But I feel like if there is no communication in the household all the way around, then there's going to be confusion.
Yeah, communication's key. Just about anything, really.
And then it could turn into a domestic violence situation. It could, really. But if you don't have a game plan.
I mean, I know somebody probably 2 years ago, I don't know him personally, but the step parent, the guy, it was an older couple, and something was wrong with, he was like a teenager, 20, something like that, grown man. He come in and the guy was trying to discipline him, like, you need to take a shower, you need to clean, and it was just disastrous. Well, he ended up shooting him.
What?
The kid ended up shooting the guy.
But he was the one that needed to take a shower.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot more than just showering. It was like a whole chaotic manipulation, narcissist, it was just a mess. Yeah, he ended up shooting him through the door.
Wow.
Just because he was trying to discipline.
Wow.
He ended up dying. He did.
Over a punk ass kid. See, I would love to hear the backstory or read the full backstory.
Yeah, it was probably about 2 years ago, maybe something like that.
9 times out of 10, it built up to that.
It was either Cobb or it was Paul, and I'm not sure.
Now, my question is: was the disciplinarian, God rest his soul, was he always the disciplinarian, or was it just the first time he tried it? You see what I'm saying? Like
always.
So he was always. So there might have been.
Sort of like, I don't know how long they've been together, but it's been a while. It wasn't 2 months or anything like that. This is an older couple, and then the kid was. I say kid.
So like their grandchild.
I guess kind of like that. But it was actually the woman's son.
Oh wow.
And I guess he wasn't mentally able to take care of himself or whatever, so he lived with him. But he was just a mess.
And the man was like, "Hey,
he knocked on the door, like, man, you need to take a shower. I've done told you this." Because he was just didn't clean up after himself. Nothing.
Like it's gone above and beyond.
Yeah, it was a lot to it. I don't know all the.
So the young man shot him through the door in his own house.
Yeah, from what I remember, yeah.
Whoa, that's deep.
I know. I was like,
Well, we even heard of a situation.
Had a good job. I mean, he had it going on for himself.
But we don't know what was going on in that household.
No, you never know what's going on in closed doors.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying. I mean, but this kid, grown or whatever.
Yeah, we don't know what was going on behind those closed doors.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But he ended up
killing his stepfather.
Yep.
Okay. But we've even heard situations where the kid would be like, "You're not my daddy. Yep. You're not going to discipline me." Now, I'm not a daddy. I'm a mommy. But I would be I would still be so taken aback. Like,
no, I'd be like, I'm your mommy and your daddy.
And I've never actually been told you're not my mommy, so you can't. You know what I mean? And I've raised many of kids.
You have that way of taking a step back and putting yourself in those shoes. You have a way of.
I try.
No, you do a good job. You really have a way of putting yourself. Hang on.
Yeah.
I am going a little bit too far with this. Let me see how I think, and that comes with maturity and age and all that stuff.
Of course,
instead of just.
And I've had my hands in on raising a lot of kids, a lot of children. But my thing is,
I like dogs and cats.
I've never actually been told, "Well, you're not my mommy. You can't." Thankfully, I've never been in that situation, but I have heard men, mostly men, say that where they'll. The kid that they're raising, this ain't no, I just met your mama 2.3 seconds ago and we got together.
Is this like a step parent? Like an
actual step parent situation. And the kid was like, "Hey, you ain't my daddy. You ain't finna discipline me for shit," type situation, Like,
and that's why I'm like,
I don't know how because technically he's not wrong. You're not his father. However, If this is the only father figure you have had in your life, and it wasn't an abusive situation, it wasn't anything out of spite, I'm just beating you for GP, you know, you've legit done something, we need to have this conversation. I feel like that man, that little youngin was telling that grown ass man, you're not going to discipline me, you're not my daddy, to do that hurt. Because kids like to try to hurt you, to try to get you to back away from them.
And to see how far they can go with it. See what they can get away with. I've seen that time and time again.
Now, in this particular situation, the man that we both know, he actually was like, okay, so explain that a little bit, because he's a talker. You know, like, help me understand, what do you mean by, because you're right, I'm not your daddy, but where are we going with this type, you know? And the kid explained it. But he still ended up, you know, they had the conversation, but he got his ass whooped at the end. You know, he still had his punishment coming. But the fact that he took that time out and was like, hey, bro, this is why you're getting punished. You know, this is, I understand where you're coming from, but you're using that because you think that's going to stop me from whooping your head. But it's not going to go to that level. So what would you do? You're not my mommy.
I just laugh about it. That's all I'm, woo, I don't,
Because technically the kid ain't wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Well, open communication, I'd be like, I mean, I'm sure I'd be like, I get it.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But if you're going to live in my environment,
then I should be able to discipline the children that are living in my room.
I'm not saying beat you, but you're not going to sit there and destroy my house.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, hell no.
No, and think that's cool. No, I'm not picking up after no kid or adult. No. You need to show respect. Absolutely. I'm all about that.
I'm all about letting kids play.
Yeah.
But don't move into my house with your child, or even come over for the weekend with your child and just let them bounce all over the couches, all over the furniture.
Be like wild butts. Woo!
Listen, I love for kids to be able to play.
There's got to be some different, like even in Walmart. You know, these.
We need to set the rules.
Cedartown Walmart. Yep, keep your kids.
You said Cedartown Walmart?
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there because it's happening at Cedartown Walmart. Keep your kids. Like, at least Walmart. Know what section they're in, what department they're in. I mean, these jokers are running wild. And it's like, you can't even move your buggy.
I've had one jump out between the clothes rack.
My buggy. I'm like, y'all playing hide and go seek around my buggy. I couldn't even move. And I'm just stopped and I was going, where's the parents? Nowhere to be found. And then I finally was like, geez, I finally got through that mess. And here comes some more. I mean, it's like, they're just like, that's the playground, I guess.
Oh man, I had some jump out between the clothes racks. You know that how they hide between the clothes racks, and then you little motherfuckers.
Now I would have fun with that. I'm like, peekaboo.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, just jeez.
So just have the communication.
Yeah, they were hanging on my buggy. I thought, I guess they're going home with me. I don't know what's up.
You adopted some kids.
I guess I was like, no, I'm not taking y'all with me. Where's your mama? Where's your daddy at? I just kept looking. You know how I track stuff. And I'm like, here I was like going through the Walmart in the freezer section. And they were just clinging on my buggy. And then they started running around.
Did you ever find the parents?
I finally got through it. And when we checked out, I seen them all checking out together. So I guess they let them wild like a play park.
In Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, Walmart is kind of good for that because there's some grown folks to be using it as a play spot too. Oh my God.
I was like, okay. No, you're not coming home with me.
Your little badass kids.
Ooh. And there's been like times I'd be shopping in like TJ Maxx. Yeah, it was TJ Maxx. And I remember I was looking at some clothes and this one little kid was just all over the place, like running out, which is fine, do whatever. But when you're sneezing and not covering your mouth, that messed me up. I mean, I had to come right next to me. I mean, I was like, I had to stop. I just stopped. I know 5 minutes. I was like, did that just happen? Where's your damn mama or your grandmama or something? And I'm like, and sure enough, here they come. They were like real sloping and all. And the kid did it again. I don't know if they had a son. I don't know what the problem was, the cold. I don't know. But I was like, that's so gross. You know, I mean, I'm autoimmune, so I'm like, don't be sneezing on me or around me.
He's just ran up beside you.
I'm serious. You know how I track that stuff? And they were, and I was like, I still remember it to this day. It tore me out of frame. And I'm like, and I remember looking at that kid and I went, don't you ever do that again.
But
I said it under my breath.
Now
the kid
listen.
Like this, I was like, don't do it again.
We've been step parents on our own accord.
I said, cover your mouth. They did like that. But I was doing it and here comes the grandma.
Helping the parents out in public when the little kids be bad as hell and you just look at them like.
That's what I did.
I sit there and start whispering to people like, don't do that.
I mean, to me, that's gross.
That is.
You know,
and the parents
when I'm autoimmune, because I am, and it's like, I gotta be able, and I'll run random fevers, you know, just, and that, you know, you're more susceptible to catch whatever.
Yeah.
So no, you coming up next to me sneezing? No.
Is this before or after the COVID?
This is before COVID, thank God.
Oh, God.
Somebody would have been in the buggy and out the store. No. It was like, I tried the weirdest stuff, so you can imagine.
So like, we are in agreement that step parents should be able to discipline to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
Don't force the step parent to become the only disciplinarian in the house because that will build resentment.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that may have been what happened in that household. I don't know. We weren't there.
We don't know. I mean, I'm not saying anybody was in the right or
but
wrong.
he was wrong for shooting that man in his house, period. And through a bedroom door at that. That wasn't no physical altercation where I got to protect myself.
From what I know, from what I gathered, it was like, you're not going to do it. Like, you need to, you know, clean up. You're trying to discipline, like, because I guess it's been an ongoing thing.
Like, man, get your stinking ass in the shower. But that gave him a shotgun blast or a gun blast. And that's not cool.
Like I said, I don't know all the details. I just remember thinking.
But what was the mom doing? And you know, that's the first thing people say, well, where's the mom? Where's the parents at?
Oh, God.
That's the first thing people say. Well, guess what? There's some situations where the mother cannot handle the situation. There are situations where the father cannot handle the situation. Mm-hmm. But those are the situations where you do need to get law enforcement or mental health or somebody else involved. If you cannot discipline your child and there is no open communication or no room, period, for open communication, there are psychiatric wards. Yes, they might only stay 72 hours or something like that, but something. Get them help.
Yeah.
Get them help, because sometimes it is beyond us.
Yes.
Sometimes it is. But if you just met Tom, Dick, and Harry, and all three of them have been disciplinarians in your child's life, you're already failing. If every individual you date becomes that step parent, you are more harming the child than helping the child. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was with this guy for 2 weeks and now so-and-so's moving in and he's going to now be daddy. You just confused the child.
Mentally, they're like, who's this one?
And I give major props to men that step in and step up. They're not step parents. They step in, they step up, and they raise that child even if them and the mother are no longer together. Mm-hmm. I give mad respect to the men.
They're removing their ego from it. Yes. It should be.
Yes. You know. But ladies and gentlemen, don't let everybody call you your man daddy, and don't let every child call you daddy. Like, don't do that.
I'm surprised I hadn't had that one yet.
Daddy!
My woman's DNA. I got a woman's DNA here. That'd probably be next.
But the young lady that you're dating doesn't have children, so you're pretty good on that aspect. You don't have to worry about that.
I have one dog. That's on a cat, so that's enough.
I want to say you have a cat and dog.
My little cat.
Sage, the bad butt.
She's a mess.
We'll have to bring Sage on here one good time.
Oh my God, yeah.
She wouldn't sit still though.
Lord no.
She got a
She's
Frenchie.
a Frenchie and a Boston Terrier mix. So you put them together.
She just
that's the wiggle. She loves people. Like, well, I can't take her walking on trails because she wants to go with everybody else and walk and have fun and see what they're doing.
And then her little snout is so small she can't really breathe, so she gets too excited and
She's a hoot.
Freaking hilarious. But yes, communication, open communication. Don't let Tom, Dick, and Harry and everybody and their mama come around your children. Single fathers, don't let every woman come around your child. If y'all come into an agreement of who is going to be the disciplinarian, I think it should be equal and not just put off on one individual. That is not fair to either individual in the household. You can't put your hands on everybody's kids. You can't.
And also, like, say you got two mom and dad, stepfather, whoever, or even two parents.
Period. Yeah.
So you got one discipline this way and the other one goes against it. You're confusing the hell out of your child.
Exactly. And each other.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
do y'all
really,
need to be each other?
that's like you discipline this way. You're like, no, that's not the right way to do something, Mom. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, you're totally like.
Some people can go above and beyond.
But you're totally just wiping out what the other person just said.
Yeah.
So that's where the communication comes in.
It has to be an open communication.
Because you're confusing yourself, you're confusing your kids.
Don't make any decisions without it being together.
Yeah, because, if you're like, oh, well, you can't drink that
and
Coke,
we're talking
put it on the table.
We're talking long-term relationships. We're not talking about 2.3 second situationships.
No. Yeah.
You're not a step parent. You see what I'm saying? If you just got involved in this situation, you're not a step parent. That is not your child.
We'll just say you got your kid drinks a Coca-Cola, and like say they can have one a day.
Yeah.
And say the mama says you can have one a day, and that's it. And here the step parent, whatever, says, no, you can have what you need. Go ahead and drink all of them. That's going against
because they're trying to be liked. They're trying to be liked. There are situations where some step parents, and I saw that in the research as well, they're doing too much to try to be liked.
Trying to appease them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that does in the long run,
they know they can run over you.
They will absolutely manipulate you and run slap over you eventually.
So definitely communication, understand your position. And if it turns into a situation of you're not able to come to an agreement, then y'all don't need to be together. To me, the child is priority. The child is priority. And if you are not that child's, even if you are that child's father, I'm not going to be with you if we can't come into an agreement situation. Because my thing is this can turn into a domestic violence situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm not down with that either. So I chose to not be with my son's biological father for specific red flags that I saw. See what I'm saying? And then when his godfather stepped up and stepped in and was like, hey, I'm here. What do you need me to do? You know what I mean? So he got raised by an entirely different family, not his bloodline, which is fine by me. But when he was younger, we explained to him, this is not your biological father.
As long as
he was like
beginning, that's cool.
2-3 years old. But people aren't doing that.
No, they wait till like 16, 18 years old. Surprise! I couldn't imagine, even if they love them, it's still like a trauma shock. Like,
yeah.
But you lied to me this whole time?
Yeah.
Even if it's not really lying, you're protecting them, that's still a shock to that person. Like a deceivement or betrayal.
And they're finding out through 23andMe or Ancestry that they're not really related.
And that's okay. Sometimes the adoptive parents are the best thing that could ever happen to them.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that, blood or not.
Yeah.
I've learned the hard way. I was taught like bloodline's everything.
Oh, I knew bloodline wasn't shit growing up.
Let me tell you something.
I knew it. I damn sure knew it as a young age.
I mean, this one right here, I think we probably are blood related.
I was about to say.
Down the line, but I mean, we're pretty sure. But it's like, you've been there for me more than my own cousins. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and I'm not being ugly, but it's true.
But it's a family dynamic, and you get to pick and choose your family. Mm-hmm. Just like a step parent can step in and choose to take part in raising a child or children. They don't have to be there, but if they are there and it doesn't work out and they stick around to be the parent, even though y'all aren't together, man, you need to give praise where praise is due.
For that.
Don't treat him like baby daddy because, like with my son's godfather, I never treated him like baby daddy. Where you at? What you doing? I never did that. When you come around, you come around. If you don't, you don't. Because he's not biologically yours. I'm not going to hold you to that standard.
Mm-hmm.
Even with his biological father, I didn't give a fuck where he was at. Like, bruh, that's your business.
Mm-hmm.
Either you're going to be here or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody so chooses to take part in the raising of your child and y'all aren't even together and that is not their bloodline and they know that is not their bloodline, then you need to give hats off, salutes, cook that man a meal, do something. Do something. Show respect where respect is due. And mothers too.
Mm-hmm.
Mothers have ended up being in situations where a pop-up child has came into an effect through adultery.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the mother has, like, the wife has, like, oh, okay, so this is what we doing? Well, they embrace it. Of course, it took a lot, but they embraced that child like their own.
That takes a lot of
it is amazing. It's
transmuting
beautiful.
your ego for that.
It's a beautiful thing when it works out, though. It is a beautiful thing. These children did not ask to be here. They didn't. But you have to have that open communication. And next week, we're actually going to talk about adultery, since that's what you thought we were talking about this week. You got anything else to add?
No, I think we're good.
That's it for this week, the HERshyt Show. Communicate, damn it.
Be sure to log on to youtube.com and subscribe to the HERshyt Show at TheRshytShow.